Welcome back to another video, guys. So tonight I've officially blocked off the Pacific bin and I'm going to be fixing a problem that I've been meaning to fix since I finished construction. So the problem is in the kitchen here, and if you can't tell, it's that guy. This is the current water filter that I have for the home, and I direct guests to use it if they want, just because it makes the water taste a little bit better. But the downside to it is that, one, it's a huge eyesore. Like, I hate seeing stuff cluttering up the countertops. And two, to fill this thing up with water, you have to remove this, take the reservoir out, and it's like weirdly placed under the cabinet, and then go all the way over to the sink and fill it up. And then when you have like 7 or 8 people staying here, you go through that water super quick. So what I want to do is come up with a permanent aesthetic solution. And that's where the sponsor of this video, Water Drop, comes in. So let me walk you through it. This is the Water Drop X Series reverse osmosis system. The X16 is what they call it. It kind of looks futuristic. I'll show you when we get it out of the box. But the goal is, just because I'm OCD, the goal is to drill a hole in the countertop right here. We're also gonna have to drill through this sink basin, go underneath the sink, and try and figure out how to tie in here so that we have a permanent filtered water system right up here. Check this out. This is the fancy faucet that we're gonna be putting in. Dang, that's bigger than I thought. So let me walk you guys through this thing a little bit. So this is a reverse osmosis tankless system, which means that it filters water like live on the spot. So this thing makes it so we have a super compact setup underneath the sink. And if you remember out at the Cedar Hollow, I had another similar unit to this. This one is able to filter water at an even faster flow rate. So we pretty much can fill a glass all the way in 3 seconds is what they claim. We'll have to try it out. So this is kind of what we're gonna look like here. Because this thing is pretty large, I'm gonna have it sticking off to the side like that. So both faucets still get full swing. And then you can see when you pull back this front cover, you have the 3 filter systems here. This home has a perfect 5-star review on Airbnb, Google reviews, everything. And doing all these little tweaks helps to improve the overall guest experience and just helps to make it better and better each time. Okay, so the way this works is we have an inlet, we have a drain, and then this is where the pure water comes out of. Going under the sink here, we're gonna have to use this cold 3/8 inch water line. Make sure you use cold. If you use hot, you'll have hot filtered water and that's gross. So we're gonna have to take off this little fitting here and put the adapter on. The tricky part, which kind of scares me a little bit, is having to drill a hole here in the countertop. I just really don't want to mess up my thousands and thousands of dollars countertop, but I think we'll be all right. And then, as I mentioned, we have the outlet that comes off of that. The outlet, we're actually gonna drill a little tiny hole into this guy, and the outlet is actually gonna eject all of the bad water and sediment and everything and push that down into the drain, which goes out into the septic field. So then over here, we got our water lines. So this will be the one that the pure water goes into, so the good drinking water. This will be the waste one because it's red and that just makes sense. And then this will be the supply water line. And this is that fitting that'll go right onto the water supply. So it'll be water supply coming up and we'll hook back on the sink right here. And then this shut off is used if like we're trying to troubleshoot something with the actual water filter. And then this goes right into the filter system and we're off to the races. Just got a brand new Milwaukee drill because my old one blew up after 3 years. Look at this thing. It like perfectly matches the aesthetic of the house too. Here goes nothing. We're gonna use a super special technical technique to get the same setback on this. So we're gonna go just like that. Mark a little spot there on the counter. So the way this works is we'll pull this little sticky back off. This helps to provide a seal so you don't have water just going everywhere here. So we got this all lined up. We're gonna fill this little thing up with water and then slowly drill this hole out. Oh, all the water just drained out. All right, that definitely wasn't the right way to do it. I just used this tile saw bit to go drill the rest of the way through the plastic, but it worked. Fed everything underneath, and that is gonna sit just like that. So then on the underside, we're gonna take this little guy, feed the water lines and the control line through here, and then screw it from the bottom here to tighten this down. All right, let me check it on top. Look at that, nice and beautiful. So it only swings 45 that way, 45 that way. Let's take these guys off. So there's actually a little display up here. I don't know if you can hear that, but That is a crisp little click there. Now the fun part, playing with live water. Now we're gonna shut off the cold water line. You know it's off when you turn it to the cold position, turn it on, nothing comes on. I guess you can't really see, but there's a little rubber gasket in here that'll help to seal this. So now we gotta put this 3/8 water line back on. Okay, so now we're putting the sink water line back on top of that. Okay, so to walk you through this is the cold water supply line. I shut this off, put this adapter on, made sure this guy's tight, made sure this guy's tight, then put this 3/8 adapter on, shut this valve off because this goes to the water filter, and then I turned the water back on here. So the water's on right now and you can see nothing is leaking, nothing is dripping, and that's how you test that this whole system isn't leaking. So once we get everything hooked up here, then we'll turn this, and this will feed water to the water filter. Okay, so now this gets a little easier. So this is the inlet valve. I just took out these little plugs that they put in there to prevent stuff from getting in there. Then we take this water line, push it in the inlet valve until it's all the way down. And then there's these little tiny locking horseshoe rings. They just clip in just like that underneath. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the drain line here. You can see that little black line on there. Push it without bending the pipe. Push it all the way down. We've got slightly smaller horseshoe clips, and do another one of these clips. Okay, so to recap here, from the faucet up there, we have this blue water supply line. We also have that gray control cable over there, which I'll show you how we're plugging in a second. But we take, this is the fresh drinking water line. We ran that into the pure water line, into the inlet. We come right off the inlet over there, the little shut off over there. And then the outlet, that's the last thing we gotta hook up, and we're gonna tap into that drain pipe there. Okay, so next up, we're gonna be drilling a hole right in the middle here, and this is where the wastewater is gonna come in and catch the drain and get out of here. You wanna make sure you don't go through the other side. Now we'll check it, see if, oh, that's perfect. You can see how the line goes in like that. We only want to go in a tiny little bit, but we have this little double stick gasket. So we knock out the center circle like that. Make sure that is nice and clean. Then you peel off the sticky side. Make sure it's right over the hole like that. And that'll help to seal it when you clamp this thing on. So now we push this guy. You can see I got it sticking out just a little bit there. And you do have to make sure to put your little horseshoe clamp back on there so it's locked in. Push that through, find where it, there, it sets right in the hole like that. So then this guy goes on the other side. And then you want to make sure that this is nice and snug. Just like that, there you go. You can see that it's not going anywhere. So now the whole system's in there. We're gonna turn on the water slowly. And then we're gonna make sure nothing is leaking. So the very last step is to plug this thing into power. So those two attach just like that. And then this just plugs in to the second plug right above your dishwasher. So you can actually hear it cycling, and it may sound like it's leaking, but it's actually just going through this little drain pipe here. So you click this little button, and it shows 28 right now, and that's just saying that it's gonna flush the water for 28 minutes, just to get all the filters primed, ready to go, and ready for some drinking waters. All right, the claim to fame is 3 seconds that they can fill a drinking glass. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Honestly, that's pretty impressive. While the water filter is cycling and getting up to speed before we can actually drink the water, I gotta run you through some of the benefits of this X Series water drop filter. The X Series filter filters out 99.99% of harmful particulate in water, giving you just super pure water. This filter has PCC rock activation technology, which stimulates the formation and processes the natural minerals in the water and adjust the pH with the alkaline system in the filter. Like I was mentioning, it's super small and compact, fits right under the sink. You don't have huge tanks sitting underneath your sink taking up space. And with the X Series, it's meant for high demand water usage. So you can just be pumping out water for huge parties and everyone's getting perfectly clean filtered water. This is actually pretty cool too. I guess this helps you adjust how many ounces of water you get out of it. So like, say we can set it to like 12 ounces. You click it once and it'll run for 12 ounces of water. And you see, you'll keep going and boom, that was 12 ounces. And it also shows the total dissolved solids. So if you saw that for a second, it shows that there's 11 total, 9, it's dropping down, 9 total dissolved solids. in this water, which is just crazy because that is super clean water. Here, I'll throw up a chart of what normal drinking water out of the tap is in the United States. Okay, so if I haven't sold you guys yet, Waterdrop is actually running a $700 off the X16 reverse osmosis water filter system for Black Friday. So if you check out the links down below, you can get $700 off this same exact system. And the moment of truth. Dang, that's impressive how fresh that tastes. Well guys, that does it for this video. I now have 2 of these systems, 1 in each of my Airbnbs. I'm gonna be doing it in every Airbnb moving forward. I love working with Waterdrop. We've been partners for a long time. I know tons of you have checked out their water filter systems, especially if you have an Airbnb deep out in the mountains and you're running on well water, you will not regret it. So definitely check out the links down below, get $700 off for the Black Friday sale, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.